What's up, everybody? Welcome to Theocracy with Theo Snodgrass. I'm your host, comedian and podcaster Theo Snodgrass. Whatever you may have done last night, thank you for spending your mornings with me. How you like that? You like that? Is that catchy? I think it's catchy. I think that's going to be the sign-on for a while. We'll see what happens. We'll test it out. Let's say hi to the chat real quick. What's up? Runaway Vagabond is here. What's up, buddy? Strider's here fighting for the right to make first comment. We love to see that. Second. Poor guy. That's that's okay, buddy. You'll get him next time. Selena's here. She's third. What's up, Selena? How you doing? There we go. Yes. Keep doing this. It's good for engagement. I don't know. It's pretty fun. How are you guys doing? You guys having a good time? Yeah. I had a fucking awful weekend. Dude, that video of that redheaded girl ruined my fucking weekend. I'm so serious, dude. By the way, so the title of this episode is arguing with women is stupid, and I stand by that. I'm gonna use myself as an example though, because this happened to me kind of recently. I was talking to a woman, and I thought if I just explained the problem logically, that would fix it. It would go away. I thought that was the problem. Like a fucking moron. I literally teach other people how to do this. I teach other people how to do this. And I was like, no, maybe if first I tried to make a joke out of it because I thought she was kidding. And then I was like, oh, no. I think what's missing from this discourse is a calm, logical explanation of why your feelings are wrong. This is something that I confidently teach other people how to do, right? So I just want you guys to know I'm vulnerable to I have that same impulse when I'm talking to a woman. I have that same impulse to just be like, oh, well, this is solvable. I could just introduce a little bit of logic to this discussion and everything will evaporate. It'll be done. We're good, right? That solves it? No, because that's not the fucking problem. That's not the problem. It's never what she says the problem is. It is never what she says the problem is. Like, she has to say a certain number of words to vent the emotions she's feeling. And the sooner she hits the word count, the sooner it's over. That's what's happening. You actually, okay. So this is what my advice to guys, because I know there's a lot of guys, I was talking to somebody recently about this. A lot of guys think that maybe there's a logical thing they can craft. If you are in a discussion with a woman and you find yourself in a situation where you're like, that doesn't make any sense. That's not what I said. That doesn't make any sense. That's totally illogical. That's irrational. Blah, blah, blah. Stop. Just stop. Stop talking. Stop talking. Just stop. Stop speaking. Don't do it anymore. Stop speaking. Because you're not going to, because what she says the problem is not what the problem is. Right? What she's saying, because if you're trying to deal with her words, the words aren't the issue. The issue is there's some underlying emotion that she's trying to get out of her system. And you just happen to be standing there. So don't engage with it. Just don't engage with the words. Just just like sit there and allow the fire hose of vibes to wash over you, and just don't say anything. And by the way, that's what they want you to do. They don't want you to engage. They will respect you less if you engage with them logically, because it's going to fuck you up. It's just going to make you frustrated, and it's going to make you say something that makes it worse. You're going to fuck the whole thing up. Don't do that. They will respect you less. What they want you to do is just sit there and don't not take it seriously, but also kind of know it isn't serious. Like, you got to kind of know it's temporary, and you just got to wait for it to be over, and then it'll be over. It's done. Like, if you find yourself trying to engage with someone, engage with them, and it's not making any kind of logical sense, then just wait for it to be over. Do you see what I'm saying? This is simple. Now, and by the way, this is what they want, and I can prove it. I found a video for this. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on.
But the current stage of your menstrual cycle, I think, needs to prohibit how deep we're getting into conversations.
I know, but...
It's better for everyone.
Okay.
I love you.
Do you see how grateful she is? Do you see how grateful she is that he put a stop to the madness? Look what he did. Look what he did. What do I always say? He put a snack in her hand, and he said, we're just not going to talk about this anymore. Let's read some of the comments, shall we? He brought me snacks and everything. That's the girl. Mine will take out his phone, look at the time, and cut me off and say, you know the rule. No emotionally charged, existential, or big life-changing conversations after 9 p.m. And I just have to sit there like, because I made the rule. There you go. Damn, this man is mature. Mine just screams luteal at me and runs away. Let's see. Okay. Oh, to be loved by an emotionally intelligent man. And all he did was tell her to shut the fuck up. He just said it in a really nice tone of voice. That's all he did. And this is what they want. I'm telling you, this is what they want you to do. That's right. They want you to just put a stop to the madness. Right? And the best way you can do it is just long pauses. It's literally don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just let them finish talking. Just let them go. Just let them go. Don't try to jump in and defend yourself, but ask follow-up questions. Like if there's a lull, and I mean like a 20-second lull. Like stop for 20 seconds at a time, because if you don't talk, she might keep talking. And once she hits that word count, and you put the snack in her hand and it's over. You know, and if it gets nasty, if you feel yourself getting pulled in or you feel like you're in quicksand, just call a timeout and walk away. And this is what they want, by the way. I cannot stress this enough. This is what they want. And the problem, I guess, the problem is that this is also how the left argues. So, and you can't do this in like a political discussion. You can't just be like, oh, okay, and then like wait for somebody to get done throwing a tantrum and it'd be okay. It's like at some point we have to run the country, you know? And thank you. Oh shit, he's onto something. Yes, I am. Frequently. I'm telling you, no, you just kind of wait for it to be over if you feel yourself stuck in quicksand like that, you know, and then it'll be better. And then I promise you, this is actually what they want. This is actually just like regular, like care and maintenance of a woman, and they all do it. And it's just how it is. You got to deal with it. Yeah. It's frustrating, though. I understand that it's frustrating, and it's very tempting to try to introduce logic into these kind of discussions. But that's just dumb. It's a waste of your time. And you can tell the problem. And the problem is this is really only worth doing with people that you care about. The rule is, The rule is you've used up your 20,000 words for the day. Convo done. That's right. Call timeout and push it. This is anyway. That was a fun one. I wanted to go over this. Okay, do you guys remember the video of that redheaded girl that we talked about on Touch Grass the other day? Anyway, doesn't matter. We were going to see a clip of it. I saw a reaction video of to this last night that just completely misses the fucking point, and I wanted to talk about it because it makes a lot of sense. This is exactly what we were talking about on the show yesterday, and I wanted to tie in. Shout out to Touch Grass, my other show. It's where we're on a panel. Some of my favorite people, and I talk about the same stuff I talk about on this show, except for on a panel. All right, we're going to go ahead and play it. Ready?
Okay, I'm Riley. I'm 24. I'm from
redheaded
Houston,
girl.
Texas. I'm looking for someone that wants...
Okay, stop real quick. Okay, so there's extra context here. So this is the video a lot of people see. What you can't see in the video is that there's a curtain separating her from the dudes. And this is, for those of you that don't know anything about what I'm talking about, this is like one of those internet dating shows. It's a bunch of Mormons, and they're separated by a curtain so they can only hear the voices. There's a bunch of dudes on one side, a bunch of girls on the other side. And this girl was just like all over the internet. She was getting fucking dogpiled. It was rough. She was rough. She's a nice girl probably, but she was just getting like dogpiled. So we talked about it on the show because the discourse around it was bullshit. And you're going to see, right, we're not watching this for the redheaded girl. We're watching this for the discourse. We're watching this for what's-her-face, whose face is in the middle there. Okay. There, now you're caught up. Also, puffy jacket guy right there with the fucking like porn stash and the mullet was just getting lambasted. Women were like just like roasting everything about his appearance. They were just going after him aggressively as sort of like an effigy to get like justice for redheaded girl, I think. They were just like, fuck, who the fuck does puffy jacket mullet mustache guy think he is, thinking he's too good for redheaded girl? They were like going after him really harshly in particular, and I think it's just because he happens to be in frame. You know, I think, yeah, I don't know. I think that's the issue.
to be my adventure buddy, and it's someone that I can trust in and is going to be there for me.
Forget about the male loneliness epidemic. Let's talk about how this video is literally...
All right, quick reminder. Male loneliness epidemic was made up by a feminist, and it's not a real thing. What we have is a human loneliness epidemic, where a lot of people are all isolated and disconnected and lonely, and our society has really devalued friendship and family at the expense of being an interchangeable cog in the machine of, you know, this late stage capitalist. What's the word I'm looking for? Fuck, I really wanted to sell this monologue, and I'm kind of eating shit. Cyberpunk dystopia. That's it. I was trying to finish on cyberpunk dystopia, but I couldn't remember how to say cyberpunk dystopia. God, that's embarrassing. Anyway, moral of the story. We live in a society that has really devalued human connection. So everyone is lonely, men and women included. Otherwise, women wouldn't be going on the internet shrieking into their phones about how men's standards are too high if they weren't lonely, right? Like, everybody's lonely. So the idea of the male loneliness epidemic being a loser epidemic and being a reason that we need to dogpile men is retarded. That's not reality. That's not reality. Everyone is struggling, and not just with mating and dating, with friendships, with family relationships, all kinds of stuff. This is not... So anytime you hear someone say male loneliness epidemic and make that face, just after that, don't take anything they say personally. Just try to ignore it. Telling chicks that things they say are red flags is not dogpiling. And yes, some of those guys looked retarded. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. He just grew up. Yeah, everyone hates fucking Puffy Jacket guy. Everyone hates Puffy Jacket. Hold on. Let's see the take. Redhead Riley thinks she's quirky and adorable, but this is a mistake a lot of women make. She also only talks about herself, and she wants the top of the and what she wants on top of the travel red flags. Yeah, a lot of the discourse kind of fell into that category, and we're gonna get into that. Sweetheart here is gonna educate us. Go ahead, sweetheart.
Proof that men are once again projecting because they think women view men the same way they view women, but we don't. This video that's going super viral right now is once again proof that the manosphere BS that they
Remember, everything women say that you're doing is what they're doing. So when she says that men are projecting and that men are making this mistake of thinking women view men the same way they view, that's what women are doing. Everything she's saying that men are doing is what women are doing. Remember that.
they teach you that's like 90% of women only go after the top, like 5% of men is again projection. And I saw this behavior this weekend at
No, she didn't. She did not see that behavior, and you're going to see that coming up. Also, the 90%, 90-10 or 80-20 thing, some of that is Pareto distribution, whatever, but a lot of that is just like dating app data. So that's how women evaluate the attractiveness of men they do not know. So that's why. So if you're just showing a woman a disembodied picture of a man disconnected from his like in-person vibes or any knowledge about his reputation or his income or like how he is as a person, that's just kind of how it goes. And they're also like inundated with options, so they can be picky. So some of that is evolutionary biology, but most of that is just how dating apps have shifted leverage in favor of women. So that's I think in person that's way less true to give maximal credit to what she's saying. In person, charisma is still king as far as I can tell. Like, I'm not a tall man and I'm not wealthy. We'll actually get into this later. I don't want to, because that's another video coming up that I want to get into. So I'll save that actually. Let's watch the rest of this.
At the club. As always, before we dive in, make sure you like, comment, repost, and follow along for more, but let's talk about it. Men will cry, what about our personalities, until Riley...
Men will not cry, what about our personalities? Women will cry, what about our personalities? Men, when they complain about relationship standards being unfair, will generally say, look at what I've done. We'll get into that later. We'll get into I have another video coming up that plays into that. They'll say, look at what I've done. Not, it's kind of women who are like, oh, like me for my personality. Because I'm ugly or fat or whatever. And there's something to be said for personality. I do think men overvalue looks, but not to the degree that she's about to suggest. Go ahead.
Riley comes along, she has a great personality, she's far from unattractive, she seemed like
Neither of those things are true. Go ahead.
one of the better picks in the group, but still most of those men decide to go after the few conventionally attractive.
Now remember, all of this is irrelevant because the men could not see what she looked like physically. So just right off that, every single piece of analysis that follows is wrong. So forget about the redheaded girl for a second, okay? Forget about the redheaded girl. Like, at the end of the day, redheaded girl seems nice. I did smash her pass with her on my panel, and half the panel was into it. So she seems like a nice enough girl. I think she just sold herself badly. And you can have a good product and sell it badly. Like, if I was on, like, a dating show, and I was like, I love to play Dungeons & Dragons. I have a legendary halfling bard character. His name is Butterscotch Bollynook. He has all kinds of great adventures. And if you go on a date with me, I'm going to tell you all about him. That's just not a good way to sell myself. That's interesting to other people who might want to play Dungeons and Dragons with me. They might want to be interested in hearing that. But I think broad strokes, most women are not going to give a shit, and they're not going to agree to go on a date where I'm going to be telling them a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons lore. Like, that's probably not. Some women are going to be into that, right? But most women broadly, that's just a bad sales pitch for me. And if that's the only thing I said about myself and that's the only thing they have to go on, I wouldn't be shocked that they rejected me, and from that I would extrapolate, hey, maybe I should lead with something different next time. You know, like, that's fine. Like, that's fine. You know, and that's kind of what she did, by the way. There's another video later that I'm not going to show because it's not relevant, of the redheaded girl being like, oh, yeah, I went first. And if I hadn't gone first, I would have said something different. Totally great. Seems like she's capable of learning from information. Cool. Okay. So none of this discourse is relevant to the redheaded girl. Just, we're letting the redheaded girl go for a second. You know, she's like, honestly, the thing with her is like, it's not relevant because it's not going to make the point she's going to make. A lot of the discourse around it was like calling her ugly, which was kind of like needlessly cruel, but yeah, so but just remember that everything that this particular broad, which is who we're talking about now, is going to say has nothing to do with the redheaded girl because she has the misapprehension that the men rejected her based on physical traits when they literally could not see her physically. She was behind a curtain. So none of this matters. Go ahead.
Choices. I saw two huge things, including this, jump out to me when I was at the club this weekend.
This story is fictional. Go ahead.
For the first time in well over a year. Now, for starters, to be clear, I'm not trying to put myself in that upper group of women. I know I'm far
Of course not.
from the hottest girl at any bar I enter, but I want to be clear that I was approached by like 4 or 5 men this weekend, so before the trolls come in here, I do just fine for myself, although I know a lot of it is just because I have followers in Minneapolis.
Totally unrelated. Totally unrelated. Nobody gives a shit about your followers. Keep going.
But that being said, I don't go to the bars to hook up with men. I was there to meet a new group of friends.
Good.
But they were there to hit on men, and I was there to...
So to be clear, she was there for virtuous purposes, but the rest of these sluts that she's friends with, they were there for men. She was just there to hang out and make friends and have chill vibes. But the sluts she hangs out with. You see what I'm talking about? You see how that's just a lie? Anyway, sorry, that's not what this is about. I don't want to focus on that too much because that's irrelevant. But the way that she's framing this is just like all of this is fictional to make her point.
To observe. I noticed one of two huge things. First, we don't have the time today to dissect, but most of the men were sitting back and would eyeball you and wait for you to approach. And that's...
This is true. This is true. I think in Gen Z, cold approach is kind of cooked. I think a lot of guys are just like staring at bitches and hoping something happens, and that ain't how the game goes. So I do think that's true to some degree. I don't think it happened in this fictional story she clearly made up, but that is true. I think she's making up this story because it feels emotionally true based on what she's observed in her life. And I think that observation is largely correct. Now, there's a lot of good reasons to why that is we could talk about, but I think she's broad strokes right that men are like staring and not approaching.
It's hilarious to me because all these men are running around pretending they're alpha male.
Not true. Most men are not running around claiming to be alpha males. That's silly. That's a silly thing to say. Yeah. Yeah, and anyone who does, I mean, men in the chat back me up on this. And if you met someone who was like, I'm an alpha male, and that was like part of their personality, and that was a thing they said about themselves, you would think that guy was a dork. Because I would think that guy was a dork. That's like, I've never heard someone just self-describe as an alpha that I remotely respected. So, Green Idiots. I went there to make sure the girls didn't do anything stupid. I'm better than them. They are the hosts. Exactly. When chicks say, I know I'm not the prettiest, they just want people to tell them they're pretty. Yes, and if you look at the comments, it's exactly what happened. Allie's right. Per usual. I have the best chat on the internet. Normal chicks see D&D as a red flag because then they hear sweaty nerd who doesn't work or bathe and will ignore me. Yeah, pretty much. Which is crazy because a lot of people who play D&D are like horny retired theater kids. Not me. That's not me. That's other people who play D&D. Okay, where were we at with this?
Whilst demanding the princess treatment. You don't get to have both of those things, honey.
Not a thing. So not a thing. There is not a phenomenon of men running around chest beating, calling themselves alpha males, and also demanding princess treatment. This is a made up thing. What there is a bunch of women running around beating their chest, calling themselves girl bosses, and then demanding that men cater to them and provide for them and literally give them what they call princess treatment. They want the Gomez and Morticia Addams relationship. That's what I see people saying online. But they also want to be girl bosses. They don't want to be nice. And they want to be confrontational and difficult to deal with and also have a guy fall at their feet and also be happy. That is something I've noticed about women. I have not noticed this corollary phenomenon among men. And look, it may be out there. I'm serious. It may be out there. And I follow the zeitgeist pretty closely, but I have blind spots, you know. And it could be a Gen Z thing. I don't know. So, yeah, Chad, if you are familiar with this phenomenon she's talking about where a bunch of alpha men are asking for princess treatment, please chime in, link me the video. We'll cover that next episode. But I'm calling bullshit. Go ahead. Go ahead, sweetheart. Finish up.
But the second and more noticeable thing, which again ties back to the original projection, is that the few men who actually were approaching women were all approaching like the same few like super hot women who were way out of their league over and over and over.
Bear in mind, she said that she herself got approached 4 or 5 times. So what did we learn? What did we learn? She is not happy with the quality of men who are approaching her. And that's what we're learning. And we'll explain why in a second. I don't want to cut her off. I want her to let her finish. Go ahead and finish.
Again, we watched all these men get rejected. Also, there were plenty of girls at the bar who clearly wanted to talk to men and were maybe more in their league that they were completely ignoring.
In their league means uglier than me.
And it was just wild to get to witness this hypocrisy for the first time in real life. But yeah, ladies, just know next time like a troll is screaming at you to go meet someone in person instead of online, like the same men that exist online exist in real life. And
that's really not true. That's how I know she hasn't been out there. Because I'm in like bars kind of a lot, you know, doing comedy. So I meet a lot of people. And on real life people are not in general like this. Like in real life, men and women can still talk to each other and have kind of a nice time at a bar. At least like in the millennial age demographic. Gen Z may be cooked. I don't know. But I see people like just go to bars and hang out all the time. They don't always fuck each other, but they're like not awful. I don't know. Maybe this is like a Gen Z thing that I'm not privy to, but to say that the men online are the same as the men in real life lets me know that she doesn't get out much. Like her whole world is online. If she thinks that online and in real life are the same dudes, and you're gonna find like, I don't know where these chest beating alpha males who are scared to approach women / they're scared to approach women, but they're approaching women who are way out of their league. And she got approached 4 times. So she's one of the women, even after saying earlier that she's not one of the women who's super hot, she is now putting herself in the category of super hot. We'll get into why this is here in a second, but we got to finish up the video.
And that's scary. I do also want to put a disclaimer at the end here. The men who approached me that night, very nice, wonderful men. Some of them were just fans saying hi.
You see how she's covering her ass? Do you see that shit? I'm not talking about my simps. My simps are all alpha chats. Now, I'm talking about these other simps who are orbiting women way out of their league. Literally the economy I depend on for my self-concept to remain stable is men that I would never fuck I wouldn't fuck these men with a rented pussy. And I need them to tell me that I'm hot or I will literally implode. I don't want to do this for you. I don't want to do this, guys. I have to. I do this because I have to. I would be doing this. If I wasn't doing this for you guys right now, I would be, talking to my coworker on a car lot somewhere, and I'd be saying the same shit. I'd be making him watch it. I have to say this stuff. I don't want to. Anyway, go ahead, sweetheart. Finish up.
And keep putting yourself out there. You were very respectful. It was a good interaction.
fuck, dude. Oh, fuck, dude. Okay, so the reason she's getting approached a lot. Here's the thing. What she's saying is just completely wrong. And I know this because I've been in the cold approach space for so long. Like, the women who are like hot, like stupendously beautiful, the kind of women who would actually be way out of a lot of men's leagues, so to speak, don't get approached a lot. This is why I always tell guys, approach hot girls. Because a lot of guys will look at a hot girl and they'll be like, well, she's not going to be interested. I want at least a reasonable possibility that she might say yes. So the girls who get approached the most, like say 4 or 5 times in a night, are the kind of moderately, you're 4 to 7 range. You're moderately attractive to decently attractive to acceptable. That range. That's who gets approached a lot. Because guys think, yeah, I might have a shot with her. And the fact that she's clearly offended by the sorts of men who are interested in her shows that she's wildly overestimating how attractive she is and what that could get her in the dating market. Secondly, if we could tie this back into the redheaded girl for a second, even if they reject her based on her appearance, even if they reject her based on whatever reason they reject her, even if they could see her, you're allowed to just like not want to fuck people. Like I said, it's not like no men did anything. The men didn't do anything wrong. Like you're allowed to just not want to fuck people. That's fine. You're allowed to not want to go on a date with somebody. That's okay for whatever fucking reason you want. And if your reason's unreasonable, that's fine. Whatever, you're an idiot. Whatever, who cares? Let it go. There's so many people. And we're trying to string these guys up. And here's the thing. Let me ask you something. How do you think she would have reacted? The same gal. This girl. Remember what she looks like? Let's pull her up again. This gal. How do you think she would have reacted if it had been fucking... Who's the wheezy redhead from Jimmy Neutron? But that guy. Carl. Yeah, Carl. If it had been fucking Carl up there, sort of a male version of redhead girl. And Carl up there. And all the girls... A bunch of girls rejected him. And then people were like caping for him and trying to be like, oh, women are shallow, dirty. Then she would be up in arms and be like, women can have standards. Women don't owe you anything. Right? But she doesn't actually have the ability to think about what men want. She does not have that capacity. And if we look at, obviously the comments are predictably man-hatey. Let's see what we got here. Oh, comments have been turned off. My bad. Yeah. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. Nope, yeah, comments got turned off on this. Uh-oh. Not good. Tough time. Tough situation. Hate to see it. Pour one out for the homie. But yeah, the comments were rough. Because well, a lot of it was like, oh, I hope she didn't think she did anything wrong. And literally, if you look at the video later, which I did not pull up because I'm unprepared and I lack a producer. Shout out to Drunk Emerald Arrow, 99 overall producer. We love you, buddy. Couldn't do Touch Grass without you. If you actually listen to her, she's like, yeah, I would have gone with a different strategy off top if I got to do it again. Which, by the way, is how you incorporate new information and learn. And that's not the same thing as like doing something wrong. It's just like, oh, that could have gone better if I'd used a different strategy. That's being a person. That's what being a person is. You know, that's how you get good life results if you do shit like that. So that actually speaks very well to her. But the guys didn't have access to that information. So, yeah, or like, those men, how dare they think they're too good for her? It's like, I just don't think you just didn't like sound, there was nothing about that would make a young man be like, oh, this girl, I should date her. But it's like, that's just like not knowing how to sell yourself, right? And that's fine. This is a lesson that sometimes people need to learn, and that's okay. I think, but this whole idea of, I think with her, and I've heard this from a lot of different women, there's a lot of women that are, I think because they think they're getting approached a lot, they think that means they're really hot, or they get a lot of DMs. They think they're really hot when it's like DMs especially mean nothing. Male attention is so cheap. Men will fuck a well-lubricated fence post. You know what I'm saying? Like, male attention is cheap. A man will cheat on the love of his life with a roast beef sandwich he fishes out of an Arby's dumpster. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it really is like it's nothing. And like, if you're getting approached a lot, I think women read that as I must be hot. And it's like, no, you're achievable. You look achievable. And that's not the same thing even as approachable. You just look like, I bet this woman would fuck me. There's a good chance. There's an outside shot this woman would fuck me. And a lot of guys, they look at the hottest chick possible and they're like, nah, I don't even want to waste my time. That's not going to work. Okay, hold on. Let's look at the chat. Hold on, because I see. Let's see. Where are we at? Oh my God, I have so many chats to catch up on. Let's see. Okay. Oh my God, there's so many chats. Too many things. Okay, there's too many chats, people. I'll look at these one. My husband says you'd be surprised what men will sleep with. You probably tripped over her on your way in the door. Yeah, very true. Bats. Some of the most famous celebrities are famous for their looks because they look achievable. That's true. Shout out Sydney Sweeney, friend of the channel. My husband. Yeah, okay, I already saw one. Theo catching strays in his own chat. Damn it, I missed it. This is why I need a producer. Why does Theo have old man above his bed? Because I revere my ancestors, Allie. I revere my ancestors. I went to high school with a guy who looked like that. He's a creepy, legit, weird BDSM poly creeper. Yes, dude. Yes, dude. No, here's the thing. You're saying poor Carl. Wrong. I agree with Allie. All the fucking Carls from Jimmy Neutron of the world are in weird polycules now. And they smell like it. I'm telling you, I used to live in the Pacific Northwest. I know what polyamorous people look like. It's not glamorous. It's not. You can spot them. And here's the thing. I think people think, first of all, sex parties are not all they're cracked up to be, just so you know. Group sex, so if you enter a group sex situation, you're not guaranteed to have hot people there. You're only guaranteed to have horny people there. And a lot of the people there, especially the dudes, are going to be the types that find it difficult to get laid in conventional situations. And women who find it difficult to get laid in conventional situations there's usually a reason. So either she's crazy or she's difficult to look at. It's why they always have low light in these environments. I've been told. So, say polyamorous people in Denver, no touchy, bingo. Man, that's where he lives. Excellent. I love to see my chat connecting. Yeah. Anna Kendrick is that's a good example. That's a good example of like approachable hot. Here's the thing, because they don't want to make like the hottest women possible famous, because then women think badly of them and get mad at them, and they don't want to go see their movies. You can't put them in a girl movie, because then women will be like, man, fuck this broad. But if she's like, oh, she's like a 7, and if you like airbrush the shit out of her, she gets to like an 8 or 9, like that's a great range, because then she's like your hottest friend, you know. So yeah, that's a very real thing, because you have to deal with the audience perception, and then like the hottest chicks ever are like modeling stuff or whatever. And all right, what was I saying? Right, so she's clearly unhappy with the quality of men who are approaching her. And I think it's because she is, I would say, probably like moderately attractive. And she lives in Minneapolis, so she may be super hot where she's from, but she wouldn't stand out in Vegas or like Miami or any of these cities, right? So I'm guessing she gets approached a lot because she looks approachable. And from that, she's extrapolated that she doesn't look achievable. She's super hot, and so she should hold out for a super hot guy. And I think it's really likely that super attractive guys have approached her. Because for a super attractive guy, she'd be light work. It'd be like, okay, I think I can get sex from her with minimal effort, and so I'm going to do it. Which is not a good thing to do, by the way, and I don't recommend that people do that, but people definitely do it. And women get confused by that. They don't understand that male sexual attention is not the same as relationship attention. They don't have that connection. And that's so important. That's why casual sex is a stupid fucking thing to do, and you shouldn't do it. And it fucks people up because they get, it fucks up either fucks up their ability to get attached later, or they get attached to the present, and then that fucks them up. It's one of those two. It's not good. Not a good time. And that's women actually can't tell the difference between a guy who just wants to smash and a guy who is interested in a relationship. At least not easily, at least not right away. You can discern that eventually. And women with some maturity can discern that. But like early on, just starting out, they don't know the difference. And I think a lot of women think they almost got married to a guy, or that they were really in love with a guy, and because they had really strong feelings, they think that the guy had really strong feelings reciprocally, and that just wasn't the case. She's like, that's the love of my life, and he sees her like you would see a gas station bathroom on the way home from work. It's like, oh, it's nice to know it. Oh, good thing that gas station's still open in case I get some gnarly Taco Bell diarrhea I need to go take care of later. It's good to know it's there in case I can't make it. It's good to know it's there if I really need it, but there are way better options. I'd much rather shit at home, It's like, but if I have to, it's good to know it's there. It's dependable. It's there. It's always available any time of day or night. But I'm not going to, introduce my mother to that gas station bathroom. I do dirty things in there, And that's how they view some of the women. Like, once you get to, third, fourth place on the roster, you are not close. You're not close. This is, you are fuck zoned, as the kids say. And a lot of women, because they're having consistent sex with a guy, they think that means that he loves them. And that's not reality. Men will have sex with women they do not like, do not respect, and in fact are not even attracted to. And they'll do that even if the sex isn't good. And I think I had this conversation. I had a dear friend who's a lesbian who got lesbian divorced and then started dating men. So rooting for her. See how it goes. She was kind of dating men for the first time, and I was like, okay, so you know how you have to be attracted to somebody to sleep with them? She's like, yeah, that's the basis of it. It's like, nope, not for men. Men, obviously you prefer to have sex with people you're attracted to, but that is not a prerequisite. Sometimes you just take what you can get because you need to scratch the itch. That's not good. And so if you're taking what you can get, and it's like, I got picked. We're special. He thinks I'm special. She actually doesn't know a lot of times. She doesn't know what the deal is. Some girls know what the deal is. Some girls, I've had women approach me for sex that were well below what I could do, and their pitch was, nobody will find out. Nobody has to know. I'll fuck you secretly. I've also had, oh shit, I'm freezing. There we go. I also had women, this happened to me. I had 2 different girls approach me with this in a week one time. This was a few years ago. And they were like, hey, I need someone to fuck so that I can go on dates with men and withhold sex from the men from which I'd like to secure commitment. And that'll be easier if I'm not horny. So I'll just fuck you a bunch of times and then I won't be horny on dates. That 2 different women offered me that kind of relationship. They're basically their emotional support dildo. That blackpilled me on dating for a while. I'm going to be honest, it took me a while to recover from that. It wasn't that they wanted to do it, because I knew women did that. It was the fact that they told me explicitly that's what they wanted to do with me. That was hard to listen to. You know, so that fucking happens too. Not disputing that. But in both of those cases, I found out later, they were hoping that that would turn into a relationship where I would commit to them. They were kind of like playing both sides of the fence. And what they told me was actually different, it turned out, than what they wanted later. They were using sexual access as like a strategy to land long-term commitment, which is retarded and never works. Don't do that. It works sometimes. I mean, it works sometimes. It works for some people. Some people start smashing and they just take off running and it goes work. It's a dumb strategy, though. Broad strokes, for most people, most of the time, that's retarded. Don't do that. And so I think this girl, I think she thinks that because she's getting approached by so many men that she's like tremendously attractive and wonderful and all this stuff. And I don't think that's the case. I think she's got this idea, I think, that the men who are approaching her are beneath her, and that men should, I guess, abandon all hope. I don't know, and I completely disagree. I think you should just like approach people and just see what happens. I mean, I'm a big proponent of like you miss all 100% of the shots you don't take. Shoot or shoot, you know, just like see what happens. And if they say no, they say no. It's like not a big deal. You just don't be a fucking goober about it. But like, you know, you don't have a shot. Because like I'm saying, women that are stupendously attractive are very often not getting approached. Certainly not with any kind of confidence. So a lot of those girls are actually like very like lonely and shy and insecure. And also like hot women, like some of them obviously suck, but some of them are cool because they get just bullied by other women all the time. So they're like socially retarded. More so than you'd think. And so some of them suck. A lot of them suck, especially in the era of Instagram. But every once in a while you find a good one. And you don't know. Just keep testing the waters. And eventually you'll find a good one. They're just, you know, they're just hiding. Yeah. But yeah, this, I don't think that this phenomenon of men only approaching the hottest girls is complete fiction. That's not true. And it's like, oh, why don't you approach people in your league? It's like, that's not true. So one of two things is happening here. So she's either wildly overestimating the attractiveness of the women that are being approached, and she's very, very, very much downplaying the attractiveness of the men who are doing the approaching. So I think it's probably both. So cognitively, her bias is just kind of skewed. And because of that thing I just explained, like hot girls actually don't get approached that much, which is why you should actually do it. And most men do not, because that's not what I said. That's not what I said, Allie. If I tell him I just want him to use him for sex, he'll be happy, is a thing that some chicks believe because men say I'll fuck anything. No, that's true. That's why you shouldn't do it. Don't fuck things. Don't fuck people that you're not married to. Pro tip. Yeah, and I think a lot of women, especially women with no dads that don't really understand what men like, they figure out pretty early that men like sex. And they think if they offer them sex that those men will stick around. And that's not how it works. It's not how it works. Not taking advantage of hot chicks. I'm saying hot chicks are lonely, and you should. You know what? I'm not going to defend myself to you. I stand by what I said. Watch the tape. Oh man. Oh fuck! My chat is so busy. I need a fucking producer on this show. There's too many chats to watch. Yeah, no. I think a lot of women, they assume that if they offer a guy sex, that he'll stick around. And then that's not the case. And the reverse of that, okay. So So kind of like if you look at it really transactionally, it's like women are like exchanging sex and comfort for men's like safety and provision. And there are certain men that are so attractive, women will offer that sex and comfort and fertility and all that stuff to a guy without demanding any investment from him, like because he's super hot, right? And there's some women that will receive provision from guys without offering them any kind of like sex or comfort or fertility, whatever, right? But you can't front load the sex and then expect the commitment to develop. Just like for a dude, you can't front load provision and expect her to start finding you hot over time. She's got to find you hot first. It's got to be there. And it's not, the cool thing about women is that it's not just physical. There's a lot of ways you can make up for your physical deficiencies. Like I'm 5'7" and it's never been a problem for me because my personality is 6'2". I'm fine. So. Okay, but this is why women now will sleep around with guys they don't care about and then withhold sex from marriage material. Women learn all the wrong lessons. Exactly. Yeah, dude. It was crazy. That was very blackpilling for me. So I don't do that stuff anymore, by the way. Retired. Don't do that. And it is extremely hard to maintain healthy relationships in the current year because of stuff like that. And like as a guy, especially as a guy like dating with good intentions, it's like, fuck, man, you're taking out a girl and you're like, fuck, is she fucking like 7 other dudes or what? Or is she gonna go straight from this date to get fucked at some other guy's house or whatever? And I understand why people think that because of the whatever podcast and all the internet sewage that is informing the dating discourse. And that's definitely reality for some people in, I guess, if you're meeting people in nightclubs in major metro areas, and then that's probably happening to you a lot. I don't know, you could just be like super selective. And also like if you stop fucking random people, then you'll be amazed at how the quality of the company you keep increases. Seriously, like that actually does happen. Like, like if you stop, like if you're like, I think there's a lot of guys, especially in big cities, that are just like fucking random chicks, and it's me, I'm guys that were fucking random chicks in big cities and like hoping that like one of them would just like magically fix him with the power of vagina. That's just like not how the game goes. It's just not how it works. Women of quality only want to hang out with you if you're a person of quality. Like women of quality aren't gonna hang out with you if you suck. At least not for a long time. So that's tricky. So you actually have to clean up your side of the fence. But also that's not the main problem. I think the main problem that I see more often than anything is this actually plays into our next video. Is guys who are doing too much and whining about it. So I actually want to. This is some turbo cringe I saw on Instagram, and I want to share it with you guys. Okay. Wait, don't listen yet. Okay, there we go.
Buy nice clothes, high-end cologne, and dinner for people I barely know. I pull out chairs, I cut my hair.
He's nice, guys.
And say, let's take it slow.
He's so nice. And he takes it
Do
slow.
everything right.
Everything right.
To be the perfect guy.
He's the perfect
it's
guy, guys.
Always almost I get high hopes, then goodbyes. I'm stuck in the same loop. What else do I have to do for someone to take my last name?
Okay.
Put my photo in frames.
Okay.
Will I have a partner in crime? The love of my life. A kid with
All
a
right, that's enough of
face
that.
that looks like mine.
All right, that's enough of that. Okay, and this is the problem I see more so from the men than the thing that I was doing. I see a lot of that. Now, what do we think he's doing wrong? right? He describes himself as doing everything right to be the perfect guy, right? So, yeah, that's right. If he grows a beard, he'll be more palatable. Great suggestion, buddy. Great suggestion. But also, like, why? Like, if you're this guy sounds like he would be suffocating and very overwhelming to be on a date with, because he's going way out of his way and like miladying and hat tipping. And no, let's take it slow. So it's like, so what I mean is this guy is kind of like weaselly and has a jelly spine. And here's the thing, this is why this is like repulsive to women, because a lot of guys have a hard time with this. And this is an argument with reality, right? That it's like women, he objects to the fact that women are not into they're not buying what he's selling. And his response to that is not to change what he's selling or change how he markets himself. His response to that is to whine. No, woe is me. Right? No, women don't like that, and that's not going to make them like you more. Like, this is whiny. And by the way, because here's the thing, because women know the reason he's being nice is because he's desperate for their approval, and he fears rejection, and he doesn't want to be honest about what he wants. Right? What he wants is to donkey fuck her in a gas station bathroom, but he's not saying that. He's writing her poetry and shit. And she knows about the donkey fucking, at least intuitively. She may not know, like, the word donkey fucking, but she knows intuitively that that's, at the end of the day, this man wants to, like, donkey fuck her in a porta potty at Coachella. There's a part of him that wants to do that. But he's trying desperately to hide that between the chair pulling and the whininess and the limp-wristed handshakes and well, we can take it slow. By the way, I am an advocate for taking it slow. I'm not an advocate for, donkey fucking at a Coachella porta potty. Unless you're married. If that's your wife, go nuts. If that's your wife, though, maybe spring for an Airbnb. Maybe don't do the porta potty. This is a gross image now that I'm thinking about it. Just... My thing is this, like, this guy, and bear in mind, where in there did we hear accountability? We heard, I do everything right to be the perfect guy. No, you don't. This is my problem with nice guys, is you're like, look at all this stuff I'm doing, and it's like you're doing shit that women don't care about or like. Like, you're not doing stuff you may be doing stuff that they like, but they don't want to get it from you. Women want that stuff, but they want it from men they're already attracted to. You cannot create attraction by front-loading the nice stuff. It doesn't work. But if she likes you, you can be as nice as you want, and that's really cool. But you're trying to initiate an exchange. Anyway, the chat's going crazy. Let's do this. Let's see. Beards are push-up bras for men. This is true. Don't ask me how I know. He comes off as gay because he comes off as gay. Yes, very true. Effeminate, I think, is right. He comes off as like a feet, kind of limp-wristed, weak. It's a lovely song, but he sings like a theater kid from Glee. Very true. Emphasis on the gay. He needs some grit and some grime in his voice. Right, but I think... Here's the thing. Women can kind of tell if you haven't confronted darkness. And this guy doesn't give the vibe that he's confronted darkness successfully. And that's where the grit in the voice comes from. Is darkness. Sing some Pearl Jam. Let's see. He's playing piano first off. Last I checked, guitars are the real panty dropper. No, that's true. And guitars are portable. That's the other thing, too. Like, if you go to a party... You got to assume that they got a piano there. And then you can be, I couldn't possibly. You can just pull up with a guitar. You can just pull up to the function with a guitar. And if you're good, no one will care. People will be like, oh, that's douchey. Guys getting less pussy than you are going to complain that it's douchey. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Bro, if you meet your wife because you brought a guitar to a party, you're not going to give a shit. Just do it. Fucking do it. Let's see. Hold on. Greener and anti-liberal. Women hear that and subconsciously notes it because they want to be the sappy ones and don't want to deal with a man doing that shit. No, that's true. No, because I think when men are sappy and overly emotional, I think subconsciously women feel a little bit insecure because they're like, uh-oh, if I'm emotional, is he going to fall apart? Actually, kind of, this is one of the reasons that women have moments of crazy emotionality. They're feeling insecure, and if you can create feelings of security and safety and calm that down, they're going to trust you a lot more. Like, a big part of a woman being able to trust you is knowing that you're not going to fall apart emotionally, even if she is. Because sometimes, like, life is crazy, and so women have big emotions. You know, it happens. It just is what it is. Can't do anything about it. You know, and as a guy, if you fall apart, then she's like, well, fuck, what do we do now? Now we're both running around crazy. Somebody needs to be the reasonable one. Right? Like, and I think when men are like sappy and sentimental in this kind of like very bitch ass whiny way, I think she's like, fuck, man, I don't want this guy next to me in a crisis. You know, he's a fucking, you know, it just, ugh. This behavior gives women the ick. I don't know. I think there were some women like performatively being like, in the comments, you said, you're going to find your person one day. They weren't sending him DMs though. You notice that? I mean, I don't know that. I'm not in his DMs, but I'm guessing that the ones who left little supportive comments, you'll find the one someday. But she'll be uglier than me, because never in 1,000 years. Not with a rented pussy. Because no, who's fucking that guy? And we like, look, I think if you got a buzz cut, grew a beard, and started lifting weights, he looks tall. I could be just like camera angling. He looks tall to me. But his same body type with a buzz cut and a beard and, you know, and like maybe if he spends the next like year to 5 years resistance training, I think that's going to improve his life significantly. Maybe if he did like jujitsu or boxing or something where he got beat up a little bit instead of whatever fucking gay theater camp he's been going to, that would be good. Or honestly, if he just like, I don't know, dressed. I mean, I don't want to rip the guy apart too much, but it's like, is there anything like distinct about his style here? I mean, if you just take a fucking fashion risk, and women will respect you. And it can be something simple, just getting a fucking shirt that fits. Like, honestly, the bar is like it's like really not that great. Like, most men could be significantly more attractive with minimal effort. I think that's why women get frustrated, because the competition for women is so fierce with looks that in order to even participate in the competitions in a serious way, you spend a fortune on cosmetics. And because so many men just have no fucking idea how to look smacks, the bar is on the floor. You really, like, literally, a beard grows out of your face. A beard grows out of your face. You just have to not do something, and a beard will appear. When and not everybody can grow a beard. We're not talking about Von Coleman. Shout out to Von Coleman. I can fix her coming soon. Right? Most men with normal, healthy testosterone labels can grow some kind of facial hair, and you absolutely should. The ladies in the chat, we're going crazy for a beard. And you just have to not do something and a beard appears. Do you know how crazy that is? Push-up bras cost money. It's like, fuck it, a good push-up bra, depending on how well equipped you are, could be like $50 to $80. Like, for real. If you want it to look nice and do what it's supposed to do, it's a lot of money. A beard, you just have to not do anything, and it appears on your face. Some women don't like beards. You don't want them. You don't want them. You don't want them. I'm sorry. They're just like, they're hormonally fucked up. If they don't see that as a sign of like masculinity and virility, their hormones probably fucked up. You don't want them. That's what's crazy to me is like, I think that's why like I said, I think that is why women get frustrated. But think about what he's describing himself as doing. I wear nice clothes. I have colognes. I don't wear nice clothes. And I have one fragrance that's a knockoff. I mean, I wear clothes that fit my body, but they're not expensive. I was just having this conversation the other day. I need to get more shirts. I have 3 shirts currently. I need to get more so that I can pack further in advance for a road trip so I can have a bag packed. Because I always end up packing like the day before because I have used all my shirts. I don't want to pack all my shirts because I won't have any shirts. And again, I do fine. So I think that the emphasis on, again, I do recommend guys wear fragrance. I do recommend you have a style that works for you that's low maintenance. You get like a de facto uniform that you can just kind of throw on every day like a cartoon character that's versatile. I mean, that's really smart. That makes your life way easier if you can do that and just automate getting dressed. And so that like everything in your closet goes with everything, so you can just throw some shit on and it works and you know it's going to work and you don't have to think about it. Because I think if you're spending all day like thinking about your outfit as a man and you're like planning outfits, like that's, you know, I mean, ladies, let me know, but I'm thinking that just reads as feminine to me. I mean, I know there's guys who do it, and I'm not saying you shouldn't look nice, but I'm saying you should automate it. Like, it should not be a significant part of your personality putting together the perfect outfit. Because you should be thinking about doing something else. Unless you have some kind of, like, personal brand that's connected to that, or if that makes you money somehow, then do that. But, no. You should be thinking about other stuff. And I think you are way overestimating. You hit diminishing returns with that really quickly. That's the other thing, too. You hit diminishing returns with that. Because women are only going to care about that so much. It's like a woman being like, I spend so long on my makeup. And it's like, yeah, but like past a certain point, it doesn't make things better and can, in fact, make things worse. You know, because then you look high maintenance. Or as a man, you look kind of prissy and effeminate, right? So, not good. And I'm a big advocate. I think fragrances are awesome. Like I said, I have one, but it's an off-brand. And no one can tell, by the way. When it hits their nose, they're just like, that smells good. They don't know that it cost me $30 instead of $80. They don't know. They don't care. Nobody gives a shit. All this stuff is like very easy and very achievable. So, really, the problem with him isn't really appearance. The problem with him is vibe. And listen to, and his attitude. Because his whole attitude is, look at all this stuff I did. And why isn't it, because the way he's framing is, why can't I find the one for me? But what he's really saying is, you don't make the mistake. This guy is brimming with resentment. He's like, why won't these bitches touch my penis? That's what he's really saying. And he's hiding it behind all this like sappy emotional bullshit because he's trying to be manipulative. But he's really saying, why won't these bitches touch my penis? I done did everything I was supposed to do. And you didn't done did everything you was supposed to do. That's not what happened. Because you're doing shit that women don't like. You got to do shit that women like. And, like, I don't think that's this whole thing of him. I think he reads as, like, too nice and, like, sappy and effeminate. I think that's been confirmed by the chat. Let's actually take a look at the chat. There's a bunch of unread chats. LOL, a lot harder to look at acoustic piano. Piano players to turn off either. That guy is going to cry watching The Notebook and think that's a good thing. Bingo. That's exactly right. I do want to defend women a little bit here. Women do want vulnerability from men, but they don't want you to be just like, be like crying and like snot coming out your nose. That's not what they want. But they want you to be like, hey, yeah, I'm having a tough time at work right now. So it's putting me in kind of like a not awesome mood. But I'm going to figure it out. We're good. We're good. I'm just stressed out. Don't worry about it. We're good. But then they don't see you like sulking in the corner. You're like, nothing's wrong. And obviously something's wrong and they can't figure out what's wrong. So then they start on that female hamster wheel of emotion where she just like spins out and comes up with 1,000 made up reasons why you might be upset and why it's all her fault. And now you guys are in a fight for no reason. And you can get ahead of that by just learning how to be like, yeah, dude, I got some stuff on my mind, but it's tough. It's tough. I wouldn't worry about it. Nothing to do with you. Just having a tough time at work. A lot of stress, a lot of stuff I got to deal with. It is what it is. And I'm sad about it, but it is what it is. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get up tomorrow and keep it pushing. It is what it is. That's what they mean by, I want you to talk to me, please. That's what they mean, actually. So keep that in mind. And I think men, because men, a lot of men just like shove their feelings in the jar. So what they're saying is, oh, she wants me to open the jar. It's like, no, she does not. Nobody wants that. Keep that to yourself. If you got to get drunk and cry in front of your homies every once in a while, that's fine. It is what it is. But no, she doesn't want that. Women do want vulnerability. They just don't want it to be faggy. Right? So. Yeah. Yeah, the piano player discourse is interesting. I should not have to be the strong one. Yeah, and that's kind of the point. If you are in a moment of an emotional crisis and you got one sappy dude like this who thinks that his like overly emotional displays are attractive to you, then I think where women go with that is like, okay, but what if I'm freaking out emotionally? How do I know that you're going to be a source of stability for me? If you're also, we can't both be freaking out emotionally, right? Life doesn't even have to be crazy and women will still feel like crying. That's true, actually. Very true. Good point, Allie. And that's and they don't want to. I'm saying this is so important. They do not want it to be this way, but this is how it is, and there's nothing we can do about it. So if you as a dude are also sappy, whiny baby man, when she feels like crying also, she's not going to feel safe with you. She needs to feel like she can go be... Your relationship is not going to work if she can't be like emotional and crazy to you and you be able to receive that and be stable and not shut down, but also not like, you don't have to get emotional too. You can kind of just sit with it and wait for it to be over and give her a hug and a taco and boom, she's on her way. Because her emotions are going to change if you're patient. This is not like a permanent thing. This is just how she feels right now. But this guy, women look at him and they think, oh, he's going to fall apart. This is a human tampon. And this is why I guarantee you he's in a ton of women's friend zones. Because that's how they view him, as like a human tampon. Women hate other women. We don't want to date a man who is a woman. Yeah, bingo. That's true too. I think one of the cool things that a relationship with a man can offer a woman is a relief from the relentless emotionality of female existence. It's like hanging out with like all women all the time or just like doing feminine bullshit constantly is exhausting, even for women. Even for the women who are doing it. It's kind of like being in traffic sucks, even though you are part of the problem when you're in the traffic. That's kind of how like women's existence is when they have to hang out with other women. It's just horrible, and they're part of the problem, and they know it, and the only way to do it is to opt out. And I think as a man, you should be able to offer her a little bit of like simplicity. She's like, okay, at least while I'm here, I don't have to worry about passive aggressive attacks. I don't have to worry about someone, coming at me for my looks. I don't have to worry about somebody secretly wanting to destroy me. I don't have to worry about, and if I'm really emotional, then there's going to be like peace and stability here. So I can get that out and then it be over. It's like exhaust. It's the exhaust that's produced by all the cool things that women do. This extra emotionality is the exhaust that's produced, right? It's inevitable byproduct of all the cool stuff they do. And you get a bunch of them together and it's exhausting and everyone hates it. They don't even like it. So they're not doing it on purpose to it. They would opt out if they could. They can't. It's a can't thing. It's not a won't thing. It's a can't thing. So if you're a guy, you should not be trying to sell how emotional you can be. Unless you can, or whiny. As long as it's not whiny. You can have big emotions as long as they're, kind of filtered through some discipline and some stoicism. You can have big emotions. You can even express big emotions as long as you do it in kind of like a measured way. What's funny is women will see a sad puppy like him and lie to him with encouragement, like be nice, like they lie to fat ugly friends. Bro, that is so true. If you actually look at the comments, hold on, let me pull up the comment. Let's see if I can pull up some of these comments. This is a guy. I will divorce my wife for you right now. That's funny. Let's see. Where's a comment from a woman? Do you sing to them? I would try that. I wouldn't, Kendra. That's a bad suggestion. Excuse me, sir. Who gave you the right to write such a masterpiece, all caps, and then perform it like that? Crying face, heart face. But notice, just like I said at the beginning, this is his public Instagram comments, not his DMs. And I bet you these women that are commenting performatively to encourage him, really lying to him, as Gal pointed out so astutely, the same way they would lie to their fat friends. These women would find it going on a date with this man excruciating. They would not find him sexually attractive if they knew him in person. They would, and horny is part of it. I hate to say this, everyone wants to pretend like horny is not a necessary component of a relationship and you can get by purely on vibes. Nope. Nope. Even if the person is a really good person, it does not matter. Horny is a necessary component. Sorry, is what it is. How can someone write and sing like that? Incredible. She ain't fucking him, though. This needs to be in a movie. Stat! Not fucking him, though. Felt. P.S. You have a beautiful voice. Your girl is on the way. Just keep being you. My best advice that I've seen work time and time again. Matthew 6:33. He's got good plans for you. Prayer hands. Not fucking him, though. Yeah, this is all women just fucking lying. And I do, it is true to some degree. You can't really be super mad at men for misinterpreting the feedback, I guess, because of that. And because you'll find the right one someday. It's like, no, tell him he's a loser. That actually works. And I know it's like really mean in the short term. And I really think like it's I think men have to clean up their side of the fence. It sucks. I mean, sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes hearing a woman call you a loser is just what it takes. But it's a huge bummer and it sucks, obviously, but it sucks for that guy. I feel bad for him, but not really that bad. You could just figure it out. You know, like here's what I hear when a guy is like, I'm so nice and women don't like me. What I'm actually hearing is I'm incapable of interpreting feedback and adjusting my strategy, which means I'm a fucking retard and I'm going nowhere in life. That's what I hear. Even Redhead Girl from the beginning, I wish I had that video. I should have dug up that video. This is why I need a producer. I should have dug up that video. But Redhead Girl from the beginning, she went first. She got fucking iced out by that whole panel of dudes. Devastating, right? And what did she say? She was like, oh, yeah, I would have approached that differently now that I've done it once, which means she could take information, interpret it, come back with a different result. That speaks very well of her, actually. That is a lot of women in her situation would have been like, gone straight to fuck all men, which is what most of the internet did. They say fuck all men and then they fuck all men. Ah! Bars, bro. Bars, bro. You guys remember before when I said thought leaders becoming thought leaders? That's still my favorite. But I'm going to stop mentioning it when I do a bar, though, because I've been told by the chat that that's annoying. But they do. They went to that place, and Redhead Girl could have gone to that place, too. She could have been like, man, fuck these guys. I'm awesome. I am scuba certified. If they don't want me at my scuba certifiedest, then they can't have me at my... You know, she could have done that. But she didn't. She took the feedback and was like, yeah, I would have done a different pitch. Because that wasn't all the things she could have possibly said. That was just what she chose to say. So if that was the only information, if I said, in my example for myself, if I lead with Dungeons and Dragons, not allowed takers. If I lead with, stand-up comedy, I have a lot better opportunity at getting it in that way. Some women are going to find that disqualifying, though, right off rip. Some women are going to find that disqualifying. But that's okay. But for the women that like it, that's like the best thing you could possibly be. Which actually brings me to, that's a really good intro for this video, actually. Because I want to share this. We'll get back to nice guys in a second, but I want to do a tie-in here. Actually, I haven't finished the chat. Before I change videos, let me get the chat. He looks like wearing dark colors are always better for men. Light colors are feminine. Shrug shoulders. And this is, by the way, this shoulder shrug, you know what this is indicating? Sorry, it's reality. And because I know if I wanted to sit here and argue with reality, I would be like, hey, I like wearing pastels. If you can't accept me wearing pastels, then you don't deserve me. Like, I could say that. Or I could observe the obviously correct observation that dark colors in general are more appealing on men. Broad strokes. And that white colors give feminine vibes. That's just how it is. Is there any logical reason why that is? No. But it's reality, so you should probably accept it. By the way, look who noticed that at some point in his life earlier. Yeah. Well played. I like the shrug too, because I feel the same way about a lot of this stuff. A lot of this stuff is like, why would that be the fucking rule? It just is, bro. It just is, bro. And the why is usually not that satisfying. That's the other thing too. Even if you know the underlying reason why men prefer this and women prefer that, the underlying reason isn't necessarily that satisfying. It doesn't help much. It's still, nature is gross and unfair. And it's gross and unfair that you have to be attracted to a person to have a meaningful long-term relationship with them. That's a huge bummer. Because if you could just like find some like ugly chick and group her to be perfect, that'd be great. But that just ain't how the game goes. Sorry, and you can't take one of these like, he's so nice. You can't just like take that and make it work because this nice guy behavior in men isn't harmless. That's the other thing too. It's the absence of necessary masculine virtues. That's what you're sensing. It's not harmless. Give the nice guy a chance. Don't. He can't fuck and he hates you. He can't fuck and he hates you. And that's true of nice guys broadly. They're full of resentment and terrible at sex. If nice guys weren't trash in bed, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And they wouldn't have to be nice. That's the other thing, too. That's the other thing, too, is guys in general are as nice as they have to be. At the beginning. It'd be nice. Look, I do think you should be nice to women, but I'm saying you don't have to be. If you're sufficiently attractive to them, you do not have to be nice. It's nice to be nice, but you can't be nice in the absence of banter. That's the other thing, too. Like, a lot of women want a guy who is confident enough of himself, who's not. Because if you are too desperate for a woman's approval, then you won't be fun to have banter with. And especially intelligent women, they need the banter is how they flirt. They need that. And if you are too scared, whatever you say, honey, and you're too scared to say anything, then you're fucked. Like, you're just not going to be able to do anything that they find attractive. Let's see. Roll up the sleeves, women. Actually, yeah, a button-up shirt and a rolled up sleeves, especially in a dark color that complements your whatever your skin tone or your eye color is. Like, it's really, bro, you really only need one. All of my shirts are black or navy because it looks good on me, and that's it. And I decided that, made a choice, did some experiments, made a choice. That was the best option, and I ran with it. And that's what I do now. And it's super simple. A plain white Walmart shirt is gross and weird. And remember, he said, I buy nice clothes and fancy clones. So this, wrong stream. I'll get to that video in a second, actually. That guy from before. Remember the guy from before? It doesn't matter. Anyway, plain white shirt, regardless of how much he may have spent on that shirt or him saying it's nice clothes or whatever, this is the impression that a woman in real life would have looking at it as well. What Allie just said right here. Her impression that that's just like a plain white Walmart shirt, which is my impression as well. He's saying he spends money on nice clothes. You wouldn't know it from that video. And maybe that's just his at-home loungewear, and on a date he would wear something nicer. I kind of doubt it. I think the likelihood that he is wearing clothes that look good on him and appeal to women is extraordinarily low. And I think what frustrates women is that it's not that hard for men to look good. It's way easier. It's way easier for a man to compete in the looks department than it is for a woman to compete in the looks department. Way easier. Like most men can be a 7. I'm serious. That's achievable, even if you're currently a 4. Yeah, I actually agree. He might not be able to grow a beard. Well, make sure the beard's not scraggly. Upkeep it a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of routine beard maintenance never hurt anybody. Women don't like the solo mustache. Beards make us crazy if they're not gross, right? And it's not that hard to have a beard that's not gross, guys. It's really not. It's not rocket science. Yeah, and dressing sharp is not the same thing as dressing expensively either. That's the other thing. You just need clothes that fit your fucking body. And most guys can put together a really sharp, personality accentuating look at Target for less than $100. And then that's not per outfit, by the way. That's your fucking wardrobe. I'm serious. Now, at some point, you're going to have to own a suit for whatever, but most people don't need to wear a suit on a daily basis. And if you do, you will be thought of as a goober and a neck beard. Black shirts work for everything. Exactly. The Axe commercials are true. Yes, they are. Fragrance is a must. Your Sauvage is a good summer scent. Giving away the game. By the way, if you're going to get a designer fragrance, find a knockoff and get that instead, because that will drop the price significantly and there won't be a noticeable difference in terms of the compliments you get or the quality you get. They may not last as long. You're going to have to do some trial and error. But there's no reason to buy fragrances at full price. You're paying for the brand name. Dark curlers, you crushed it. Shirts do need to fit. Yes, they do. As a woman, I already think Sauvage probably smells nice simply because Johnny Depp was in the commercial. Bingo. Exactly right. Okay, now we're just talking about fragrances. Johnny Depp involved equals panty dropper. Thank you, green-haired anti-liberal friend of the show. Appearance and personality are his problem. He is the problem, and that's exactly right. He is the reason. Like, why can't I find a girl? Because you are not that appealing to women. That is why. The vulnerability I want from a man is he feels safe being asleep around me. Kind of real, though. Let's just be honest. Women don't want weepy men. Just be honest about it. It's okay. It's okay. I had to, explain this to a lesbian therapist one time. She was trying to tell me, she was like, everyone deserves a safe place to cry. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's like saying everyone deserves a leprechaun. That doesn't exist for men. That's a nonsense concept. It's stupid what you just said. Don't say that, by the way, to lesbian therapists. They get upset. Or do. Whatever. What are they going to do? Hit you? Women should never ask a man his feelings because, ladies, you do not want to know that shit is dark. That's actually true. Like, you really want to know what I'm thinking about? You don't. I promise you don't. It will ruin your fucking day. You will never get over it. If I told you what I was actually thinking about, you would never get over it. And I don't tell you, not because I'm trying to be an asshole, but because I don't want you to have to think about the stuff that I have to think about. That's my job. I'm doing that for you. So that, because your brain already like invents shit for you to be upset about and turns your anxiety to turbo mode for no fucking reason. It already does that. So if I'm thinking about some really harsh and difficult and fucked up shit that either has happened to me or needs to happen or stuff I need to get done to make things happen in the world, and that's causing me stress, I don't want to put that on you. I want to just like do it, and then you'll see the benefits of it, and we don't have to talk about how it happened. So we don't got to talk about it. You don't got to worry about it because I took care of it. But yeah, it's like, I'm not telling you not because I'm an asshole or not because I'm holding out on you. I don't want you to have to worry about that. There's a meme I saw a long time ago of a woman, can't remember the character name, hugging the Hulk until he became Bruce Banner again, and that's a great depiction of what women want. Control. Yeah, like, honestly, what... Oh, continued. Hold on. Beep. Knowing your strength can be manifested that much, but her comforting him until he can calm down again. Strength can be overwhelming, and her family can calm it. Yeah, that's kind of beautiful. It's tying into, like, the Beauty and the Beast archetype that women and men, frankly, love so much. The idea is that you should be capable of being dangerous, but you're not dangerous to her. But you need to be a little bit dangerous so you can contend with the horrible things that are outside the walls, right? That are in the outside world. There's horrible shit out there. And you need to be a little bit fucking dangerous so you can go deal with it. Because otherwise you're just going to be a victim. And this guy smells like a victim. Like, there's no part of me that thinks he's dangerous to the stuff in the outside world. He's like, oh, after you, sir. He's a little, like, weaselly, spineless pushover, right? And what's crazy, those guys are actually the ones that are the most dangerous to women. Because remember what we talked about. Those guys, the guys who are super, super, super nice and think they deserve more than they've got, are chock full of resentment. And a guy who's chock full of resentment, who's just done a woman a bunch of favors, is very dangerous to that woman if they're alone together. That's not actually a safe person to be around, and women know that. Because he's not being honest about his intentions with you. He's not being honest about why he did you all those favors. He wants something, and women know this. They also know he can't act. So he's the opposite. They want you to be dangerous to the outside world and safe with them, and nice guys flip that around. They're harmless in the outside world and dangerous if, God forbid, you put them in a situation where they can have power over a woman. That's real. That's real. It's fucked up, but it's true, and that's why women don't fucking like that shit. They don't. They don't. It's like, ugh. And it makes you, ugh, like this. Ugh. And you can whine about it. You can write songs about it. You can write poetry about it. You can cry in the shower about it. But it will not change reality. It won't. So just don't. Don't. Anyway. Only movies men should be allowed to freely cry over are war movies based. A meme where a chick texts, honey, what's going on with the stock market? The guy says, don't worry, kitten, go bake a cake. And the chick says, okay, yay. That's what we want. For real. For real. Nah, I shouldn't have to calm my man down. He was calm the entire time. He just knew it was time for violence. Yeah, that's based. He looks like the guy who shoots himself in Full Metal Jacket. For real, he does. He realizes. They are gaslighting him, which is also the problem. That's keeping him from growing as a man. That's actually true, too. Is like the amount of people who are not telling him the truth are creating issues here as well. Don't couch your encouragement in religious language. That's such a cop out. Yeah, exactly. It depends on the reason behind the issue. Men, well, hold on. Show on stream. There we go. So women should be able to comfort and support when he needs it, because assuming he never needs that can cause him to bottle it up and not talk about important issues. That's true, too. Yeah. Let's see. Good amount of the time a man doesn't need to talk about. Okay. Black dress on a woman makes men salivate. There you go. Perfect read on the shrug, Theo. Exactly. Thank you. Appreciate it. God, my chat is awesome. Okay, I think I got all the way through the chat. This is actually, okay, I have one more video I want to pull up. This is super important, and I think a lot of guys that are black-pilled. So one of the things that's fucking people up is they'll see the stats on dating apps where 80% of women are going after 20% of dudes, or 90-10. There's a bunch of different ways they lay that out. And guys will be like, oh, well, that's hopeless. And it's like, yeah, it is if you're trying to be generically attractive to all women, but that's not remotely necessary. You can specialize, and that's something a lot of people don't know. So this video explains it really well. So we're going to play it here. Give me 1 second. Beep.
A good idea for men in particular to be more attractive to fewer women than to be less attractive to more women. I tell guys, if you can be really, really attractive to 1% of women that's going to be more women than you're going to know how to deal with in your entire life. That's millions and millions and millions of women. You don't need more. But that means that 99% of women might be like, ooh, gross, ick, no. But if that 1% says, yum, that's my thing, that guy is going to be swimming in optionality. Like, you want to be the first person that women think of, as opposed to like that fewer women think of, than the second or third or fourth or fifth guy that more women think of. And that's
Bingo. Okay. So what does that mean? I'll use myself as an example. So specifically in the context of when I'm at a comedy club and I just got off stage, that is me at my peak attractiveness. I've noticed that. Dude, so there was a time in my life where I was selling cars for like 60 hours a week, and then I had no car myself. I was selling cars, I had no car. I was basically living out of a duffel bag, and I was sleeping on a floor mattress in a basement in Spokane, Washington. And I would go to comedy clubs and do gigs. So that was pretty much the only thing that was going well for me at that life. And I had groupies, which was mystifying to me. First of all, like hot groupies too. Like, listen, if you're fucking like 25 years old, you could be a groupie to anybody. You could be a groupie to a rapper or a rock band, or at least like a successful comedian. Like, you shouldn't be, if you're a groupie to an unsuccessful comedian in Spokane, Washington, I want to know where your father is. Like, I'm worried about you. My point is, in that specific context, that's like my peak attractiveness. And then I could go down the street to a 7-Eleven and talk to a woman who did not just see me perform comedy, and she's like, why is this guy bothering me? I don't care what that woman says, because I've got the comedy bitches. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not at all worried about any of these other women or what their opinion is of me. All these women who say, I want a tall guy, or I want this, or I want that. None of that matters, because I do the comedy and the podcasting, and a lot of women are going to find that complete deal breaker. Oh, this guy's currently poor, and he's doing a long shot strategy, and I don't even like comedy anyway, so this is a stupid idea, so I'm not going to, touch this guy. I wouldn't fuck this guy with a rented pussy. We're going to make that a thing. Shout outs to rented pussy. That's the thing. But for the women that are into it, that's their favorite thing. There's for 1% of women, I'm their favorite thing. And for 90% of them, they're like, fuck this guy. No, absolutely not. Not in 1,000 years. Not what I'm looking for. This guy is just walking red flags. And I just got to figure out which one I'm talking to. Like, I tend to do really well. Like, if you read the Bridgerton books and fucking beat off, you're probably really going to like me. Like, if you ever fantasized about marrying Legolas when you were a little girl, you are really going to like me. If you like books and movies about hobbits, right here. If you get wet watching Pride and Prejudice, specifically the Keira Knightley one or the one with Colin Firth as Darcy, doesn't matter. If that's what you're into, right here, you're gonna like this. If you like tortured artist guys who stare off into the distance, I'm your guy, right? But if you don't like man buns, and if you think man buns are faggy, looking at Allie, I know that's probably you, Allie. If you think my man bun is faggy, that's okay. It's just not for you, And that's the thing. I think with the Andrew Tate stuff and with the with the red pill discourse, it's like, well, I'm never going to be in the top 20% of men. It's like, yeah, probably not. But but if you're 6 feet tall, you've got the abs and the awesome car, and you've got all this money, and you're just that's all superficial, and you're going to be vaguely attractive to most women most of the time, and you're not going to be anybody's favorite. You just want to be one girl's favorite. That's it. You just want to be one girl's favorite. That's it. And that is way more fucking achievable. But you have to individuate. You have to have an individual personality. Your personality can't be a bunch of fake bullshit you saw on Pinterest. Like I would recommend, especially with young guys, I always say find something and get really good at it, and then you can fuck the girls who fuck guys who are good at that thing. Ideally, something that like makes you money, but you got to figure out a way to make money and figure out something to be good at. Ideally, get both of those things together. That works really well. And then you could just like that will disqualify you from certain women are just like not going to vibe with what they're not going to buy what you're selling. And that's okay, because once you start specializing, you are going to disqualify yourself for a lot of women. But that's not a reason to not do it. What you're really doing is filtering out people who were not going to like you anyway. Because remember, the goal is not to fuck absolutely every woman around you. That's not the goal. The goal is to find one that kind of kicks ass and thinks what you're doing is awesome. If you find one woman that thinks what you're doing is awesome, it replaces any desire for increased optionality. And it's like your choices will actually be a lot. Because here's the thing. This other thing too. Your choice will be better. And this is what I mean by that. Even though you technically have fewer choices, if you specialize, the choices that you have will like you way more. And how good the relationship is really has a lot to do with how much the girl likes the guy. For real. Like, if the girl feels like she's winning, she's going to treat the guy really good. And then the guy's going to be like, oh, I'm being treated really good. That makes me feel good. That makes me want to treat her good. And then you're in a feedback loop, right? And that works really good. But that you want to be, if you want to be one girl's favorite, you just don't want to be, you want to be one girl's favorite. And that requires you specialize a little bit. So my example is stand-up comedy. I don't know what it's going to be for you. Find something where you can distinguish yourself and be the top of the pile when you're in that space, or you can demonstrate how cool you are, in some way, or and there's groupies for every male endeavor. Every male endeavor. Hockey chicks, they call them pucks. Girls who fuck cops or badge bunnies. Girls who fuck comedians are called chuckle bunnies or chuckle fuckers. There's like every male endeavor, there are women that, I'm not saying you should like smash these chicks, but maybe like find a nice one and take her out for coffee or whatever. What I'm saying is like there's women hanging around every male endeavor looking for options because that's what they find attractive. So just pick an endeavor that appeals to you and do it, and then fuck the women that are attracted to that. Like fucking Piano. That's what's frustrating about Piano Guy is like he's if Piano Guy pivoted and became Guitar Guy, or even if he just like made less bitchy songs. Like, if he focused on making less bitchy songs and built up, like, a kick-ass social media presence where his songs weren't quite, like, whiny and were more, like, fun or enjoyable to listen to, then he'd probably be swimming in it. And then made some of the aesthetic changes that we talked about. Like, honestly, if he just wore sunglasses, grew a beard, and shaved his head when he recorded his videos, just that right there, maybe wore a dark shirt instead of a light shirt, he'd be... It's just, you're Piano Guy now. Specialize. You're Piano Guy now. You just get a thing. And you can date the women who are into guys who do that thing. And here's the thing. If you're good at it and you're obsessed with it, your life is going to get better. Because you're going to have a thing. And here's the thing. The other thing, too, is like women want to date a guy who's obsessed with something outside of them. Sorry, it's true. I know we talk about the Gomez-Adams, Morticia-Adams relationship all the time. Feminists are always like, I want that. Reality is, what it is, it's like fucking, Piano Guy from earlier. It's that guy fucking hovering and like breathing down your neck. Cheeto breath. That's really what that relationship looks like, and it's not fun for anybody. That guy's full of resentment, and the girl feels smothered. What she actually wants is a guy who's like has a thing that he's doing that he's focused on, and he's fucking going after it, and then she's like, oh, that's cool. And you're like, yeah, it is cool. I do feel cool. And you go out there with renewed confidence. That is a favorable situation for literally everybody involved. And that's way better, but it will disqualify you for certain people. Like, if you want to get really good at, I don't know what people do. I don't know what people do. I don't know what things there are to do. But, like, figure it out. You know, figure out a thing to do. I don't know. I don't know what people are doing outside of comedy. I don't really give a shit. I don't care. I don't care. Whatever you got. I don't know. Drop some things in the chat that you could do to get laid, fellas. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. What are people saying? It's much easier for a man to dress well than for a woman. Our body ratio. Yes, that's very true. Body ratio makes clothing annoying. Yeah, and all the sizing is retarded. And there's like so many different ways that a woman can dress. That, man, it's really not rocket science. And our clothing companies aren't lying to us on purpose to gaslight us into being insecure about our bodies. So a medium is a medium for the most part. So let's see. Let's see. Yeah, man, stop trying to be Brad Pitt. Exactly. Stop trying to be Brad Pitt. Exactly. Choose your chick genre and dress for that. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the philosophy I go by. Thank you, Vagabond. Vagabond is, I happen to know, is a tall black guy with dreads. He has pull. I was hanging out with him in Vegas, and he almost got his bones jumped by some random middle-aged white woman. And I was like, oh, wow. She looked right through me to get to him. You know why? I'm not her genre. That's what she likes. Do you really want the comedy type of chicks, Theo? Let's not interrogate this. It works for the anime. Oops, didn't realize I was behind. My bad. Let's see. Okay, cool. Let's see. Yeah, for real. Yeah, dude. That's the thing. You got to go with somebody who likes what you're doing. But here's the thing. If you're doing something that's really important to you, and then a girl likes you because she likes guys who do that thing, now everybody's happy. Now you don't have to give up your fucking hobby or whatever to spend more time with her because she likes you for that. So you can keep doing that. She's going to like that, you know? And that's what you get. Now you're in a situation where everybody kind of likes the situation. She feels like she's winning, and you get to do your thing and have somebody that likes you for you instead of the fake generic Pinterest personality you made up to impress women generically. Specializing is a great idea. That's fucking incredible advice from the guy who said the thing from before. Chick also has to be a little bit of a DJ. That's right. Shout out to Vagabond. Go follow his channel. He has a show. I swear it's not hentai on Sundays. I appear on that show. Learning all about anime, stuff like that. So that's fun. Not really an anime guy, but I will be soon. The way things are going. So that was fun. All right, folks. Well, this was a fun show. We're coming up on 2 hours. I think I said pretty much everything I wanted to say about the stuff that I had. Yeah. All right, folks. So I'm going to get out of here. This has been Theocracy with Theo Snodgrass. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure, yeah, this has been a lot of fun. If you liked something that you saw, please share this out. If you feel like somebody could benefit from listening to the show, please send it to them. I know there's a lot of bad information out there, and I'm trying my best to fix it in a way that's entertaining for me. Really, the purpose of this is to get better at stand-up, but this is helping, and hopefully this will raise my brand profile. Also, we have the Stream Elements tip jar pinned in the chat, so if you guys feel like I deserve to continue living inside, please send me money. Thank you. All right, chat. This has been rad. You guys are awesome. I have enjoyed your company immensely. I haven't figured out a way to sign off yet. And I am going to have an outro at some point. We are working on that, but I don't currently. So we're going to do a called out. This was a lot of fun. Take it easy, folks. Goodbye.